All right. All right. So I've been making these portfolio walkthrough videos using Loom, and I figure, well, I was looking at Twitch and I was playing around with Twitch, and I figure maybe it's time to actually use some proper recording software. So this is an experiment. We're giving it a shot. And this is just a fun one. So I've had all of these files sitting in my Dropbox, and I've had all these files from high school and before sitting in this hard drive. And I figure it could be fun to go through some of them. So specifically, what I want to go through is I have all of these design files from 2012 to 2014. So 2012, I was in 10th grade. 2014 was when I graduated from high school. And the summer after I graduated from high school is when I spent a lot of time just learning about design, playing around with logo design, web design, uh, and like, using proper design software, Illustrator, Photoshop, and all that. And 2012 is like, I think, when I downloaded Photoshop for the first time and just started having fun with it. So, yeah, let's just dive into it. I was hoping this could be some fun. So, 63 was, I think, a bar and a restaurant. And a lot of these are, somewhat speculative or like submitted. So, what would happen is these people would post on Reddit on r/design jobs or on r/jobs for Bitcoin. I spent a lot of time on those two subreddits. And then I would, design a logo and then I would submit it as a comment. So this was one instance, and for most of these, there was either no response or they probably like politely declined or something. Except there were two. So Bit Bunnies, which I'll get to in a second, which ended up looking like this, and Data Stars, which was this. So Data Stars and BitBunny actually paid me, which was cool. So those were like my first. I wouldn't even call it freelance, but just like the first time I was getting money for, design work. Anyways, back to 63. So this was a logo design. There's 6 and a 3. Um, that looks like okay. So these are 5 different logos, or 5 or 6 different logos that I designed that summer. So I can skip that because I think all of them are here. BitBunnies, like I said, this was one that paid me. So this was my first time, I think, designing a mock-up. Like I had done web programming before. For like 4 years, I was doing web programming, but I had never actually done like a proper design phase. So this was the first attempt at a mock-up. He didn't like it, for reasons that are obvious to me now. If it's more of a wireframe than a mock-up. And then this is actually where we ended up. So he had all these great assets. I'm not sure if he created them or if he got them somewhere, like these background assets. And then so I created this UI layer that sort of sits on top of the background assets, and then this split. Um, so I don't know what happened with this. I don't know if he built it. I mean, I know he only paid me a fraction of what I was expecting to get paid, just based on him not being very happy with the work. But for I guess my first sort of foray into like doing design contract work and design freelancing and it all going down on Reddit, um, it is what it is. And that was all summer of 2014. Um, Business card looks like someone just needed a business card. Chesterrow was a band, so same deal with 63. Like they probably posted on Reddit, and I submitted one of these. Um, this was, I think, a personal. I think I just did this for fun. I wanted to see if I could do so. Like I designed this vector of a cowboy type, iconic cowboy, and then I wanted to see if like I could do a laser etched into wood treatment. And the only I thought about it actually not too long ago, maybe last year or the year before. I was like in a Chili's in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, and I was like, oh, the art on the walls at Chili's like kind of looks like this. So Data Stars was the first one that actually paid me for a logo. I think I think it was just a fraction of what the actual payment was supposed to be, but I'm pretty sure they paid me like $50 at the end of the day. So they wanted like a sheriff's badge. I think this is maybe out of order. I kind of like this. So there are actually 2 versions. There's like this unified symbol, and then there's a horizontal locked up composition. So yeah, they liked this idea of a sheriff's badge. I'm pretty sure they like this typeface that I chose. They have a tagline. I mean, there's some things that are working for me. I mean, I definitely prefer it with the text outside the logo mark, but I don't hate the logo mark. And then I remember this. So this was the first pass that I did. Um, yeah, summer of 2014. So I think what they do is they repair hard drives or something, and they wanted a star in the logo, and I think this was meant to be a hard drive. And then what I probably did is looked up like palette inspiration or palette generators, and then did that. I don't like the text inside the logo, but I don't hate that. So then after that, I'm sure they asked me to go more towards the sheriff's badge. Okay, this was another speculative one. Cityscape in the background. Those are like a dime a dozen. This was 2012, so this was like when I was, discovering Photoshop. This was a Father's Day present. The best father, and then I got this printed out. So like my go-to gift for everybody back then was I would like design something in Photoshop, and then I would print it at Walmart and then give it to them. That's a Facebook cover, Facebook background photo. So this was another speculative one. I don't think they ever responded to this. This was on Reddit for a company called GDev. And if I can just pull up a new window, what I later got a kick out of was there is a screenshot tool that I used to use called Gyazo. And I think sometime in like 2015 or 2016 or something, they came out with this new logo. And I was like, oh, that's not too far off. And I kind of like the rotated square that it creates in the negative space there. Yeah, I remember this very well. So Howard Stern, Johnny, etc. This was all done in Photoshop. This was just doing brush layers in Photoshop. So Howard Stern was just, for fun. I was probably watching America's Got Talent back then. And then Johnny Etc. was this guy, like an illustrator that I was following on Facebook. And he had a sort of a flat vectory style for illustrating characters from TV shows and all that. So this is actually fan art that I posted on his Facebook page, probably 2012 or 2013 or something. That's, whatever. So then MHS Fresh, I can't tell if this is a mock-up or if this is a screenshot. I'm pretty sure it's a screenshot because I wasn't really mocking things up back then. So this was like during the end of my senior year of high school. We all had to do, for this class I was in, like a self-initiated final project. So the project that I was wanting to do was this freshman portal for incoming freshmen for high school. And this was the site. I'm pretty sure this is a screenshot of the site that I built, but never launched it. What I have been thinking about every now and then was this logo that I created. I think I made this like end of 2013 or sometime in 2014. Definitely would have been my senior year of high school. MHS was Myth Acton High School. It's set in Cooper Black, which is like the new trendy D2C brand typeface. Okay, that's more Photoshop brush stuff. Nitro Tech was, so before it was Tall Neil as like my online brand, it was Nitro. So everything, all like my on Miniclip and all those websites, it was like Nitro 123, which comes from Crash Bandicoot. They had the Nitro and they had the TNT boxes. So then in 20 something, I honestly don't even remember. It was one summer during high school. I wanted to do an Android app. I think it was 2013. I wanted to make an Android app for an alarm clock where you have to enter a random, like it'll randomly generate a string of characters, and then you have to enter that string of characters to turn off the alarm. And then this was the splash page for the Android app, and I never launched it, and I really wish that I had, just to like, as like it would have been my first experience launching an app, which I think would have been a cool experience to have in 2013. But yeah, it was Nitro Tech, and then much later, it became Tall Neil. Okay, this whole folder is open near me, and I remember this too. So this was my freshman fall of college. So it was a real site. So there's this site called Open Near Me. I was using it every now and then. You could like find out about, like a restaurant or like a late night fast food place or whatever that was open near you. And the guy's email was on the site. I emailed him. I told him I wanted to redesign his site. He agreed to pay me $300 for the redesign, which he did pay. And then I mocked up the site for him. So it was like, find me a diner open near Boston. And I kind of like some of this, but I mean, overall, it was my first time, like, doing a solo web design project. These are just some iterations. So yeah, it looks like this is probably what I delivered to him. And this was like my first time doing a handoff. And at this point, I was already working at 8Tracks, like doing an unpaid internship or apprenticeship there, and like actually started learning about real UI design. Um, and none of the 8Tracks work is in this folder. That's all elsewhere. But it's pretty obvious, like, that I'm not really thinking about things like components and interactions, and just I didn't really have a good grasp on UI design best practices, and definitely wasn't thinking about responsive. Um, I was just kind of mocking up screens, like I thought that's what web design was. It's like you mock up a screen at a time. Um, yeah, so like none of these have like the interactions or the flows thought through. It's just all one screen at a time. Pause, same deal. Speculative Reddit logo design. Happy Pause. It kind of looks like brass knuckles. That was a poster. That's my cat. That was a poster that I printed for my sister. Yeah, I think I remember this. So I think our high school had. I think our high school had like a competition for either a logo or a poster for post prom. Quadradinho. That's another speculative Reddit logo design. Robots and Pancakes was pretty fun. I remember this. So this was with my high school robotics club, and that there was a fundraiser that we were doing. But all like the fundraiser posters and flyers that people would put out, it would be like the MHS Robotics Club is having a pancakes fundraiser at Applebee's. Here's the time and date, and there'll be all this text. And I really wanted it to be like big, bold, loud. And I didn't want it to be like the MHS Robotics Club is having a robotics fundraiser with pancakes at Applebee's. I just wanted it to be like robots and pancakes. And then I printed a bunch of those. Save the date. A lot of this is pretty useless. I mean, this is all just Reddit stuff that went nowhere. And then I do remember this. This is from a Creative Live class that I was tuning into. And it was like Illustrator fundamentals and infographic design. Yeah, this one wasn't printed. This was a desktop background I made for my sister for her birthday with Obama taking her to prom. Titan, that's another Reddit design. I kind of like the difference in font weight there, actually. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Looks like someone wanted a poster of Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay, there's more Empire. Okay, yeah, I kind of liked this one because it was some kind of green, it was some kind of green initiative. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely rough, but I think the concept is not too bad. The concept is not too bad. Yeah, yeah. I think this was either my desktop background. I'm pretty sure this was my desktop background. It might have been my Facebook cover photo also. And that was just for fun. That was from Relay for Life. Hashtag YOLO. That was definitely like 2013 or something. 2012, 2013, maybe 2014 when YOLO was a thing. Yeah. All right, I think that's pretty much it. Let's see if this stream works.